Please welcome to the stage Jeffrey Rosen and Ed Morrison. Gentlemen, the reason the two of you have been brought up here is because you've been partners for us. Normally we, as I said, do our debates downtown, but we are delighted to be here at Columbia and invited by the Richman Center and to be in this hall, which we've been backstage saying is actually a spectacular place to do a debate. And Jeffrey Rosen, we've been partnering with you on these constitutional debates for some time, normally doing them in Philadelphia at the National Constitution Center, which I want to say, if you have not been to, you should get to. It's a short trip. It's a spectacular place. It's a day out. I mean, it's constitutional amusement park, constitutional Disney World. It's really worth going to see. But Jeffrey, take a minute to share with us this whole notion that you've experienced, this audience has experienced. I'm sure the law professors and law students are used to it, but that we're taking a slice at this thing that's about the Constitution.
The National Constitution Center is constitutional heaven. That's what it is. And I believe that there is nothing more important in these polarized times than citizens having the opportunity to hear the best arguments on the constitutional questions that are at the heart of the most important questions in our democracy so that people can make up their own minds. And that's the inspiring mission that the National Constitution Center was created by Congress during the bicentennial of the Constitution to promote. Our congressional charter says that we have a mission to disseminate information about the U.S. Constitution on a nonpartisan basis. And when I had the incredible luck of leading this amazing institution about a year and a half ago, I asked, what's the leading forum for, well, intelligent debate in America? And of course, that's Intelligence Squared. So I'm a law professor at GW in DC. I went to go see Nick Rosenkranz, who teaches at Georgetown. And I said, we need to start a constitutional debate series so citizens can understand the difference between political arguments and constitutional arguments. And Nick said, as you heard in his intro, that's exactly right. There's nothing more important than educating people about the difference between political and constitutional arguments. So we started up this incredible series. This is the 4th debate we've hosted. I'm so thrilled that it's in New York City. And this model is so successful that it's become the basis for all of our constitutional education. We persuaded the heads of the Federalist Society, the leading conservative lawyers organization in the country, and the American Constitution Society, the leading liberal organization, to co-chair an advisory board at the National Constitution Center. Nick, that is worth an applause. I think it's thrilling. I think there's nothing more exciting than seeing these two great organizations joining together for civilized debate. And Nick is also co-chairing this board. And last week in Washington, we launched the series of a national series of town hall constitutional debates that I think are going to be like the Lincoln-Douglas debates and transform discourse in America. And we're having these We the People podcasts for constitutional debate that also bring together the top liberals and conservatives. And we're creating the best interactive constitution on the web, summoning top liberal, conservative, and libertarian scholars to write about every clause of the Constitution, both what they agree about and what they disagree about. But for all of this, our partnership with Intelligence Squared is the core of this model. And it's really a model of faith that believes that people are intelligent enough that when they hear good arguments on both sides, they'll engage, they might separate their political and constitutional views, they might even change their minds. And that's why I'm so eager to hear the vote. I'm so thrilled to be in New York, and please join us for the next of our constitutional debates, June 2nd in Philadelphia. Do the states have the constitutional authority to define marriage? That debate is going to be right before the Supreme Court decides that question later in June, and it's going to be an amazing discussion, just as this one was tonight.
And also, you and Nick Rosenkranz have something else in common, and it's that guy over there.
Oh, well, Akhil Amar was my first teacher in law school, and he's the greatest teacher that I've ever had, and a great friend, and he did a great job tonight, along with all the other debaters.
Nick, he was yours, yeah. Okay, now it's time for Ed Morrison. He's co-director of the Richard Paul Richman Center for Business Law and Public Policy here at Columbia. We are delighted to be here with you, but why are you delighted to be here with us?
Well, tonight's debate is a terrific example of why we do what we do at Columbia University. It's why we do research. It's why we teach. Most, I think all of us at Columbia, are here to engage in a deep way with policymakers, with the media, with industry, frankly with you, about the issues of our day. And one of our earliest graduates, think of Alexander Hamilton, he used debates like tonight to shape the way in early America thought about the issues of its time. And frankly, those issues are not so dissimilar from what we talked about tonight. Through his words, through his debates, he permanently changed the way we think about the scope of federal authority, the conflict between Congress and the president. It's what we're debating tonight. It's the Hamiltonian style of debate that we at Columbia crave, and yet it's all too rare. Newspapers want sound bites. They call me all the time for them.
And you don't give them.
And I don't give them. I try not to. I'm not good at it. That op-eds, they want 300 to 500 words. Tweets are becoming the common currency. That's our world, and yet then there's IQ squared. And it provides the forum that I think we at Columbia crave, which is an opportunity to engage with you in a deep way about issues that really matter.
And weren't the questions good tonight?
They were. They were terrific.
I have to say, they're not always that good. So this is they were really good. Thanks.
I'm a director of the Richard Paul Richman Center for Business, Law, and Public Policy at Columbia University. It's a joint effort of the Law and Business School to engage with the public in an evidence-based, deep way, just kind of the conversation we had tonight. And it's why we were just so thrilled to be able to host this kind of debate. It's exactly what we want to achieve at Columbia. And also I want to extend a thank you to Richard Richman and Jeff Colvin, who are here tonight, whose support made this debate possible.
Thank you from us as well. And gentlemen,
one last thing. I know I'm taking up a little airtime, but the last thing I want to say, and I want you all to remember this, is that I hope tonight's debate has convinced you to come back. Come back to Columbia University, because we'd love to have you join us in our ongoing, I think, pretty exciting conversations about issues that matter.
And you should do the sound bites. I mean, you should go with that. Gentlemen, thank you very much. And again, thank you to both of you for sponsoring this class. Thanks.